Welcome back, I'm Charles Bryant, and today I have a bit of a surprise for you. For you drone fanatics out there like me, I have something pretty awesome that I want to share with you. And no, this is not a hockey puck for a hobbit.
It's like air hockey.
Score! This is, well, actually it's a case, but what's inside is important. This right here, if you can see, it is an ND filter. For you experienced photographers, you know exactly what an ND filter is, but for those that do not, let me explain real quick, because I talk about it a lot on my videos. I use these quite extensively to shoot time lapses, and the reason is because an ND filter is simply sunglasses for your camera lens. What it does is it fools the camera sensor into thinking that the environment that you're in is darker than it really is. Therefore, you can open up that shutter for longer periods of time to create some really cool effects in your photography or in your videos. And when I do hyperlapses with this guy right here, or I do time lapses on my regular camera, I like to create that slow motion, kind of a blurred, whimsical, dreamy effect, which gives off the presence of moving through time, kind of a dreamscape type thing. Much more so than not using one and then creating the effect of like fast forwarding a film in post-production and just making it look quick. It just, to me, it doesn't get off the same impression. So this one is actually a very special one. If I can move it a little closer, maybe I'll do a macro shot, but if you look real closely right there, there's a dial on either side. They have now made variable ND filters for your drones. Just like with the cameras, variable, which means that you don't have to keep taking the lens off every time you want to switch to a different filter. So with this being a variable ND filter, you're allowed to adjust how much neutral density or how much filtration you want from the sun just by turning the dial, and it has laser etched markers on it so you know where to put it to get that exact increment of neutral density or filtration. If you're not real familiar with filmmaking, there are some basic camera settings that you have to have in order to get that look that you're looking for. For instance, most feature films that you go to the movie theaters and see are shot at 24 frames per second, and your regular broadcast television is shot at 30 frames a second. So what this does is it allows you to get the shutter speed that you need to get the look and the feel for what frame rate you're using. So if you're shooting 24 frames a second, what you would need to do is double your shutter speed. So that would be 48, right? Now some cameras only allow you to go to 50, and that's fine. But typically you would go to 48, double the shutter speed. So 24 frames a second, 1/48 of a shutter speed. And likewise with shooting at 30 frames a second, you'd want to double your shutter speed to 60th of a second. The problem with doing that in midday, high noon, 12 o'clock sunlight, you know, when there's no clouds in the sky, it's just bright, right? Is too much light's coming in. Let's say you're shooting at an f2.8 aperture. Well, that aperture is really big because you want the bokeh background and all that great cinematic effect. But at the same time, your shutter is open for a lot longer too. So you've got this massive amount of light coming into the sensor and everything is blown out, and you're not gonna be able to do it. So you've got to use one of these to filter out that light so you can get the proper exposure at the frame rate and the shutter speed that you're setting your camera to. Okay, so to better explain exactly how this variable ND filter is going to work, I want to show you through the back of my phone. I've got it lit up here so we can have some contrasting color and white light so that we can see through this thing, and I'm going to rotate it. This is on the lowest setting, which is 6. I'm going to rotate it all the way to 9. And you can see that it gets darker as I go down and lighter as I go up. 6, 9, back and forth. So that allows me to change the density of filtration of light that hits the camera sensor. Now, on a normal ND filter, not a variable one, I think this is a 4. You can see how much light comes through here because it's not very strong, right? Now, if this didn't work, I would have to take this off and put a new one on, and vice versa. If the other one didn't work, I'd have to take it off and put it back on, which is very monotonous and time-consuming. Luckily, with this one, it'll focus on, I can put it on and then just adjust it on the fly. So I've got anywhere from, 6 all the way to a 9 on this one, which is awesome. Okay, so another thing I wanted to show you real quick too is how to put these on, and if you'll notice, if this will focus, is it focusing? I think it is. Yeah, if you'll notice there's 2 white triangles up here, right? This means that it goes on that way. This is up, right? Not sideways, not upside down, but up. Don't make the same mistake that I did, and I almost tore up my filter and my camera because I got so frustrated. I was trying to force it on. I was just like, why is this thing going on? And I realized that it has a certain pattern. So I felt dumb. Here, let me show you real quick on the other camera. We can get in closer and I can show you how this is done. So Okay, so this is gonna be really tricky, so bear with me. Remember what I told you. These white triangles mean that this is direction up. I'm going to put this on with these triangles in the up position. I'm just rotating it just like that. And you'll lay it into the little notches. Just like that, right? Once it's in there, you're gonna rotate it clockwise. And there you go. It's locked on there, good to go. With that being said, I'm gonna take this little guy out, put the filter on, shoot a hyperlapse, and see if I can create, in midday, 12 o'clock high noon sun, see if I can create that motion blurred effect that I like to get during the evening hours using a hyperlapse feature on this drone. See if I can do it. I think this filter will do it. I think it gets dark enough, but we're gonna see. And I will show you the results in just a minute. I have my mask. I'm gonna wear it because I don't want this virus. I wanna stay away from people at all costs, but I wanna get this done and see if it will work because I'm kind of excited. And even if I'm not using it for motion blurred time lapses, I can still use this and create realistic cinematic sequences because I won't have to worry about too much sun coming in. I can set my frame rate at 24 frames a second and my shutter at 1/48 and look golden and have everything look just the way it needs to be. So I just got back in. It was really, really hot out there. Hazy, just really kind of garbagey weather to be shooting in. But the most important thing is that my test results come back conclusive that this thing works. Let me show you what I got. So, what'd you think? I think it came off pretty awesome. I mean, it worked. It's just test footage anyway, but I just wanted to see if I could get that motion blurred effect that I like, and it did, it worked. Not only that, but now if I shoot for like any kind of film project, I know that I can get the film speed that I want and have it doubled and everything will be looking just the way I want it to look and very filmic. So I recommend this, highly, highly recommend this to put that in your kit. You may want the 2 to 5, you may want the 6 to 9. Either way, it's up to you. You know, it's up to you. I'll put a link of where I got it. Well, you can just go to the website. It's polarpro.com. I'm not sponsored by them. They don't know me. You know, it's none of this kind of stuff. It's not an affiliate link or any of this kind of stuff. But I'll help you out so you don't have to go search for it. I'll just put a link in there and take you right to it, and you can order whichever one you want. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it has really helped you understand a little bit more about ND filters and how useful they can be for photography and for film. And if you want to learn more about that kind of stuff, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you are notified when I post again. And I will see you when I come back.